Hey guys, what's happening? It's your boy DJ Reminisce, and I want to talk today about how to build a strong brand as an artist or a DJ. First of all, I want to apologize for the lack of content I've been putting up. I do apologize for that. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm working on for this channel. I'll be talking about that in more detail once everything gets going, but just in short, I'm looking at starting a subscription-based model for producers, mainly for Punjabi producers that are looking to record like percussion, like tol, tumbia, stuff like that, where you basically one-stop shop. You come in, you pay a monthly fee, and it's like unlimited access. So in order to get to that point, I have to work out some stuff with some studios back in India. So, but I'll take care of that, when I go there later on this year. So I'm not too concerned about that right now. But as more details, come and I develop them, I'll let you guys know. So once again, I do apologize for the lack of content. I do appreciate you guys, especially all the comments and questions that I get. I'm going to be more active on this. On YouTube, on this channel for sure. But I wanted to talk today about a question I get a lot is, you're an artist. How do you get exposure? How do you get your music out? Or if you're a DJ, how do you get your stuff out? How to get, your, people's eyes on you and focused on what you're trying to do? And that's a great question. It's a relevant question. And, it's tough as, this can be hard for some of you going to, to listen to, because most people just don't have the time and patience. Like, I'm not here to talk about the anomalies. I'm not here to talk about, the people that, smash it in like a year or less than a year or a month and all of a sudden they get superstardom. I'm not here to even discuss that because those are rare. I'm talking about, someone like me, who took, years to get to a point where I was able to establish a brand for myself. And in between, I was part of a DJ group and that didn't work out. So I had to reestablish my brand because I had left the scene as myself, and had to remarket. So I got my tea here with me because of my throat, so super hot. First things first, man. If you wanna build a strong brand, you got to be good. At the end of the day, I mean, you can put out whatever you want. If the quality isn't good, if no one's feeling your stuff, you're not going to get mass appeal. End of that. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not saying, anyone in particular is no good. I'm just saying in general, right? That's not to say that you will get better, because you got to understand something. When I first started DJing, when I first put my hands on those turntables and started dropping mixes, I was garbage. I was absolutely shit. You know what I mean? I was useless. But I was, I went from useless to bad. Then I went bad to okay. I went okay to good. I went good to, very good, and very good to great. But it was a progression. I had to learn. You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna be at their A game right from the start. You know what I mean? So you gotta do the work, and that's where most people seem to kind of drop the balls. Like, they want instant success, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that, right? So if you want to build your personal brand as an artist or as a DJ, you got to work on your craft. And you got to work on it regularly. That could mean daily. That could mean weekly. I don't know. Like, if you're a singer, if you're trying to get your singing career going, if you're not practicing every day, I mean, I don't think you stand a chance. Like, yeah, there's natural talent, right? I mean, again, I'm not talking about the anomalies. I'm talking about the average person that needs to go out and absolutely crush it. You need to figure that out for yourself and how you're going to do that, right? Whatever your schedule permits. I mean, I can tell you, when I was DJing like 3 to 4 nights a week. In my heyday, I would constantly be buying new music. Not only was I buying new music, I was listening to the music. I was marking my records. Like, I knew my arsenal of weapons. I knew where every record was. And you know what? I was a decent DJ. I'm not, no Jazzy Jeff or anything like that. But I knew I knew my music inside out. And I think that for me was the one, the reason why I was able to get to where I was in my career because of, what I knew and how I played it. It wasn't I was technically okay. Like I'm not no battle DJ, but I can tell you, a lot. I got booked, a lot because of the stuff that I would play and how I used to play it. So that's one thing you guys gotta understand is like whatever you're trying to do, if you're an artist, singer, producer, DJ, you got to be good. And the only way you're gonna get good is by practice and by learning. And you can't stop. Like if you stop those two things, man, you're done. You're finished. Like you might as well hang up your boots. The day you stop learning, you got to stop. Like I'll tell you, I came from the vinyl ages and I could never get onto the CDs. And thank God, something like Serato came up. But I was learning. Like I'd go from like, excuse me, sorry, I'm really tired. From tangible, touching a vinyl on a record, knowing exactly where I'm going, to Serato, which was all visual on a laptop. So it's a totally different thing that I was learning to do, but I had to learn it. If I wanted to stay in the game, I had to learn Serato, and I jumped on it ASAP. I jumped on it right away. I was one of the first in my area. I was on Serato Beta, right? So you got to learn, and you got to make sure that you're always upgrading your craft. Another thing that people don't realize is you got to give your brand time. If you're doing the right thing, working on your craft, right? This stuff's gonna take time. With anything that you do, like if you're a DJ and artist now, you got to be on social media, right? But again, on social media, it's one of those things where it's going to take time. So I think with today's society and with today's world, I think social media, websites and all this stuff that you see, it's given this false sort of, view area that it's so easy to become big in today's society. You know what I mean? The persona that, anyone can become a singer, that anyone can be a DJ, and that may or may not be true, right? Again, depends on your skill and depends if you're able to connect with people. So I want you to understand that, especially in today's digital age and world, that it's going to take time, and it's going to take, some significant amount of time for you to get to a point where you can, make it your full-time career, or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. You want to go travel around the world and DJ around the world. It's going to take some significant amount of time. It's going to, you got to go build that rapport with people. You got to go build that community. And that comes to my next point is, if you want to build a strong personal brand as an artist, you got to build a community. The quickest way to do it is through social media. End of story, right? YouTube, something like this is social media. You know what I mean? I think it's really important. I think if you start off by doing the right things, you will find yourself building a social media community quicker than most. And what I mean by that, some tips I'm going to give you is, you got to be you got to be genuine. You can't be a dick, right? Like if you're a DJ, be a DJ and be honest about it and show your skills, right? Don't be a DJ and sit there and start selling ice cream machines or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, authenticity is the key for social media. People want to connect with you. People want to be able to see who you are. You know what I mean? It's a tangible thing for them. See, the way social media works and the way people are going to be able to connect to you is by seeing who you are, what you're trying to do. Then they're going to look back and say, you know what, this person, is he the kind of person that I can watch? Is this the kind of person that I could, listen to? Is this the kind of person that, I like their records, I like their voice, or I like the music that they play? And that may take, 3, 4, 5, 15, 20, 25 times before someone comes, over and over again coming to your website or SoundCloud page, whatever it is, and listening to you. It may take a few times, right? You're going to get the few that, hear you right away and either you're going to like you or you're not. I mean, that's a given, right? But you got to remember there's that majority of people where it takes them a time to kind of figure out who you are and what you're about. And if they can relate to you, right, they're going to be a fan for life. So you got to remember that process takes time. But if you do the right things on social media by being authentic, being you, showing the right things, talking about the same things, I promise you're going to gain a following very quickly. And some other tips, I want to give you is that, on social media, one thing is when you're talking to people, if you're messaging people out, say, hey, check out my stuff, check out this, and people are responding to you and trying to connect with you, guys, you got to make sure that you're connecting back. It's all about engagement. Those days of, the artist being the celebrity, snobbish, you try to reach out to them, they never say hi and stuff like that. Those days are over. That I'm telling you, those days are definitely over. The world's changing. I think now the expectation is, especially in today's world, like if I'm an artist and I'm trying to build a fan following, those fan followings want to know who I am, and they want to, get in touch with me. They want to talk to me. They want to reach out to me. They want to feel connected with me. I think that's really important. I'll give you some of my examples on social media. Like I'm on Twitter. All my social media links are in the description, but I make an effort, a solid effort, to reply and message everybody, whether it's on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is. If people reach out to me, if they got a question, whatever it is they want to reach out to me, talk to me, I make an effort to reach out to them. And I've been able to establish such a strong community of followers that, that reach out to me all the time now, and I reach out to them back, and it's great. I'm establishing a brand for myself. That's really important. Whether, whichever social media platform you decide to use, just make sure you use it properly, be authentic, like I said, show people that you care, and just go out and just consistently do it. Some things you want to think about when choosing a social media platform is you got to look at the demographics, and you got to look at who your target is. For example, my brand, DJ Reminisce, is mainly old school, 90s, 80s, 2000, 2010, around there. I play newer stuff too. My main core brand is old school. Old school are people like myself. So my target is probably, 30 to 45. And, some of these 30 to 45s are family people. They got kids, right? So I get a lot of great response on Facebook, because Facebook is an older crowd. There's couples on there, there's married people on there. So I'm able to connect with a lot of people on Facebook. I'm also connecting with a lot of people on Twitter, because Twitter is a different demographic. Those two are my favorite platforms when it comes to my DJ Reminisce band. In terms of my other stuff, my personal stuff, my entrepreneur stuff, I've been where I teach people how to start a part-time business, the mindset of it and stuff like that. That's pretty much like 20 to 45. So there's a younger demographic and probably a little bit of millennials involved in that. And I'm really going hard on Instagram, using Instagram stories, and of course Snapchat. So you got to really fully understand who you're trying to reach to and where that demographic is. So if you're into like trap hip hop, for example, I'd be all over, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. If you're a rock band and you're doing like, Nickelback stuff, I definitely, obviously YouTube, Facebook would be good, and Instagram. Like Instagram right now, I think is one of the best social media platforms to be on if you know how to use it. I did some blog posts about it. I also did a video on how to use Instagram to build your own personal brand. Feel free to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description if I remember. But, like I said, you got to start somewhere, pick one or two platforms, and just consistently do it. And to be honest with you, I would rather have you guys create, dope content on those social media platforms. For example, like, Instagram is all about sexy pictures, right? So create a sexy picture, post it up. And if you do that once a week, that's fine. It's once a week, but do it once a week. I'd rather have you not put up like stupid pictures or something that doesn't look good. It's not quality. Like, what's the point, right? You want to maintain a certain level that reflects your brand, and that's really important. Where most people fail is, they're an artist that sings whatever, say, I don't know, gospel, whatever it is. But you look at their social media and you're like, okay, that person sings gospel music, but what they're doing, their actions do not reflect what the music that they sing. So there's brand mismanagement there. You got to really be careful, especially if you're an artist that's using your personal name as your, brand, right? Like, I don't use my personal name for a reason. I use DJ Reminisce. I can turn that off and I can be myself, right? DJ Reminisce is a certain thing. It's a certain brand. And I'm able to differentiate between that and my personal brand, which is good. Now, some people don't have that luxury, you know, like there's people that have like, you know, DJ Jane Doe, and that's who they are. So when you're Jane Doe on Instagram, you know, you got to be careful of how you market that. Are you only marketing your DJing stuff? Or are you doing only your personal stuff, and how that works? So, I mean, it's doable. You just got to keep in mind your end goal is always to make sure that your brand is represented, you know, the way you want it to be represented, right? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying if you're happy with how your brand is being represented, that's the main thing. So you got to be careful when you decide to brand yourself in a certain way. You know, you keep that in mind. And that comes to my, you know, another point. Like we've talked about social media, we talked about being genuine. You know, how do you decide on how do you brand yourself in terms of a name? This is a really important question because this sets the tone and it's going to stick with people forever. You've heard my thoughts. I think, you know, if you're going to pick your personal name, it's great. But you got to keep in mind, it's going to be very difficult to separate your personal life from your business life. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. You know, I chose to go the different route just because, you know, it's the way it is. Sorry guys, I apologize, man. It was just lack of sleep. I couldn't sleep at all. Just tossing and turning. But that is the foundation of where your brand's gonna go. You know what I mean? Like I'll give you another example. You know, if you're gonna call yourself whatever, DJ, I don't know, rock and roll, and you're playing hip hop, it doesn't jive. You know what I mean? Like your brand's got to make sense, and it's got to make sense all the way around. See, here's the thing you guys got to understand, and that's something I probably should have mentioned in the beginning. I apologize for that. Like, what is your brand? Like, what's a personal brand? A brand is you. It's your swagger. It's who you are. It's how you talk. And that personal brand of yours could give you the potential to be able to market yourself where other brands will pay you for it and where you can make a career. And I'll give you a few examples. You know, like look at all the big YouTubers that built a brand on YouTube, and now they're getting paid major money to do whatever, like wear sneakers or wear a sweater or, you know, talk about this or product placement. You know, there's Billy Singh, Casey Neistat. I mean, it's endless. Like I said, I think celebrity status is still there, but influence status, I think, is, you know, very high second, if not on par with celebrity status. It's all about your network and how big you can build it, and that's what brands are looking for. So if you're an artist, you know, that's got, you know, hundreds of thousands of followers, like what brand wouldn't want to work with you? Like it's just a matter of you going out there and say, hey guys, you know what, I'm DJ XYZ. I just partnered up with blah blah blah. We're making a new, you know, DJ needle line or whatever it is. You know, stay tuned for it. Watch out. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be epic. And you know, people will probably, you know, go for it. You know, at least, you know, 1% to 2%. So, you know, there's an opportunity for you guys to, you know, really take your brand to the next level and do some really cool things and like change people's lives. And that's the whole point. But again, it's got to start from the authenticity, because if you're not authentic, people will smell that right away, and they'll eat you dry and chuck you out in the garbage. You know, especially as an artist. If you're a fake artist, yeah, you're gonna get beat up pretty bad on, you know, in the public, and try to avoid that. You know what I mean? Another thing you could try, because you're building a fan following as an artist. You know, there may be days where, you know, being vulnerable may help you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe you're going through a struggle, or maybe you're going through something in your life that, you know, you can reach out to your community and your fans and your following, and they'd love to connect with you and, you know, try to help you. It's a good way to bond with your community. It's a good way to show that you're human, that you care. I think that's really important. There's, you know, I've been talking, I think a few months ago, I did a topic where I was having an issue, with my, I think it was my DJ software. It was my DJ software, my laptop. I can't remember what it was. I was getting really frustrated because I'm trying to do all this live stuff, and it just kept crashing. So I went on and I started, talking to some people. I'm like, hey guys, I'm having this issue, and you guys know about it or heard about it. And I was shocked, man. I was so shocked to get so many cool responses back saying, hey, try this or try that, or I've had this issue before. So not only was I engaging with my fans, which is really important, but they felt as if they were part of my community because they're reaching out to me direct and we were talking on one-on-one. It was amazing. So you got to be engaged with your fans, man. You got to be engaged with your followers. That's really important. Like I said that earlier, that celebrity status where being a snob and not talking to anyone and just whatever, putting shit out, buy this, buy that, that's not going to work. And you're going to slowly you're going to slowly find yourself slipping through and being insignificant because people don't want to be sold shit all the time. They want to build a relationship with you. And if you're getting into the game now as an artist or singer, producer, and you think that you're just going to be able to release stuff and not worry about it and no need to talk to anybody, you're sadly mistaken, man. You're sadly mistaken. Some tips and tricks that you can do to get your brand out and build brand is, go out and reach out to people. If you're if you're an artist, you're not on SoundCloud or Spotify or Apple Music, you need to be. Simple as that. You need to be on these platforms because that's the right vehicle. And then obviously the trick is getting that vehicle on the right roads where everyone can see you. I mean, that's the real secret, and that's the real, bit that's the most difficult to figure out. But again, that comes with time, that comes with practice. So if you have a song right now, like if you're an artist right now and you're on SoundCloud, what you should be doing is going around and looking for other people that listen to your type of music and message them, say, hey, you know what? I noticed you listen to this kind of music. I'm also big into hip hop. I did one of my own records. I would love to know what you think. Hit people up. Don't push the, hey guys, I'm artist XYZ. Buy my new song. Buy my new song. Buy my new song. That's the wrong approach, man. What you should be doing is going out, hey, check out my record on SoundCloud, right? Or check out my record on Spotify. You should be looking at all the big influencers on YouTube, and if they're playing your type of music in their videos, you should be contacting them and saying, hey man, I'm so-and-so, I noticed you play this kind of music, I've done the same thing, I would love to send you my song for one of your videos. It's all about distribution. Like if you're getting your music out to, some big vlogger who's doing like hundreds of thousands of views per video, and they play one of your records and it's got your SoundCloud name or page, you know what? People are going to go. Percentage-wise, I guarantee you people are going to go check your page out or check your iTunes out, whatever it is. So you got an opportunity to do some direct sales or, push for promo just by doing things like that. But you got to be hitting up these people. They're not going to come to you. Some might, but why would you want to wait for that? Get on YouTube, do your research, check out some other websites that are, or some, whatever genre you're in, join some groups on Facebook. There's so many things you can do to get exposure out very quickly without actually asking for a sale, which I think people just don't do enough. I don't know what it is. They don't trust in their music. They don't trust in their brand. I don't know what it is, but it's all subjective. That's the thing you need to understand is, you may think you have the best record in the world, or you may think it's the worst record in the world, but it doesn't matter what you think because you're not buying your music, right? The viewing public is the one that's buying your music. Let them decide. It's not for you to decide. So just get it out and let nature take its course, and maybe, something will pop and something will happen. You won't know until you try. You know what I mean? So you got to be reaching out to some of these people and messaging them saying, hey, here's who I am. What can I do for you? That's really important, man. But yeah, I think, what is it, 25 minutes? I didn't want to take too much of your time, guys. I don't even think there's anyone on this feed, which is fine. That's okay. The video will post. Like I said, I just want to talk to you guys quickly about, building a strong personal brand and how to do it, some quick tips and tricks. And to be honest with you, social media is the best way. It's the easiest way, and you're going to get a lot out of it because everyone's on social media. Again, some of the tips and tricks that I've talked about in this video, I've used myself and they work. So there's nothing I wouldn't give you unless it worked. You know what I mean? So just, keep that in mind. But I'm going to come back with more content on this channel. Again, I apologize for the lack of content. This is my very first live on YouTube on this, and it's, I'll be honest with you, kind of nerve-wracking because I wasn't sure if it's going to be, decent or not. I hope I did a good job. Let me know if I didn't. Feel free to leave me or drop a message in the comments. I'll definitely be checking them. But I hope this helped too. I guarantee you that if you apply some of the things that I've talked about in this live chat with you guys, I guarantee you're going to see a difference. I guarantee you. But you got to do it consistently. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen next year. It may not happen 2-3 years from now. But I guarantee if you stick with it, stick with the plan, be consistent, I guarantee you something's going to pop for sure. All right. So guys, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. Please like this. Subscribe to the channel. That way you stay up to date with latest Christian information. Share this video to anyone who you think needs to hear this information. I'm your boy DJ Reminisce. Peace out.